With all the blessings of Christ Jesus, we meet again. Today is July 24th and I brought you 205th drop of the living water. We are in the journey of studying the prayer that Christ Jesus taught his disciples, the exemplary prayer. This is how you're going to pray. He gave us an example. In this example, up to now we learned 3 prayer requests. Your kingdom come, your will be done, give us today our daily bread. So all these 3 are prayer requests. Before we move on, did you compare? Are these our prayer requests daily or our prayer requests are different? If it is too different, so we must come to the right track. This is the time. Right. So now today let's move on to the next verse. We are in Matthew chapter 6 and verse up to 11 we learned and we studied. Today let's read what is the next one is 12. It says, forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. It's clearly understandable that we have to forgive and being forgiven. Forgive and forgiven. These 2 things are the main keywords here. But let's understand, is this a prayer request like the other 3? Yes, this is a prayer request, a kind of, but this is more than a prayer request. This is a warning. This is a warning with a condition. There's a warning. What is the warning? We must be forgiven. Without being forgiven, we cannot inherit anything. We cannot go to heaven. We cannot have life everlasting. No, we cannot even have the relationship with Christ Jesus. Being forgiven. Forgiveness is a must. In order to receive that, there's a condition. That is the warning. We have to complete our part even before we ask his forgiveness. So what is the condition? We have to forgive the other person. Whoever hurt me, made a lot of trouble for me, who stopped everything in my life, bothered me, whatever it is, no matter what it is, but I have to forgive them in order to receive the forgiveness of Christ Jesus. So we know that we need it because we all are sinners. There's no one can say here on the earth, no one can say, no, I am not a sinner. Everyone, including you and I, we are sinners. So that's why we must be forgiven. We need to pay the price. We need to go through the punishment. Why? Because we made something wrong. But by his grace, he paid the price. Paid in fully. How he paid? With his precious blood. He gave his complete life. And he suffered in order to you and for me to be forgiven. He suffered for you and me. He suffered in your place and in my place. He died for you and for me. So we don't have to die. That is the only assurance that we can have life. That is everlasting. Right? He is the great example for forgiving, and there's no any other one who gave their life for our sin. Right? Now it is there, that is called salvation, because the broken relationship he established by sacrificing his whole life. So once this is done, that means we can enter through the gates of salvation. Right? So in order to go into the path of salvation, the first and foremost step is being forgiven. In order to get that, we must forgive the others. So complete our part is first. 50-50, my 50 has to complete. But unfortunately, many, they postpone it. Okay, maybe later. I don't know. Not yet. I'm not ready yet. So they have excuses and they postpone to forgive the others. If we postpone, what happens is our salvation is also being postponed. Maybe later, because we are not forgotten yet, not forgiven yet, and the relationship is not been corrected yet, so the salvation is far away. Some people, they just forget about that. Maybe, I don't know. So they are still hesitate to forgive. Then our forgiveness, being forgiven, will be late, delaying. So our salvation would be delayed. So that is why it is so serious. Remember the principle, not get and give, but his divine principles are always the opposite, mostly opposite, give to get. First, we need to give in order to get. So we need to forgive in order to be forgiven. That is the divine principle in this verse. Not only in this verse, that is his divine principle, give to get. Right. But in this verse, it talks about, again, let me read it for you. Verse 12, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. What is this talking about, debt and debtors? Is there any financial debt or something? Be ready. Let's talk about that tomorrow. May the Lord God bless you and keep you.